This is Michael with digitaltshirtshop.com. I wanted to talk briefly about photos. So, the majority of the images that I have on my website are thumbnails that I made from a blank t shirt, just a photo of a plain t shirt. And then I've gone ahead and I've taken a graphic and I've overlain the graphic over the t shirt. So, uh, this is fine. This works. People can see what it is. If you go and you look at Etsy and look at the variety of photos, um, I do think that there is something to be said about the actual photo of the actual shirt being worn. If you were to thumb through here, there was one I was just seeing a second ago. You can tell, for example, this right here, and Peggy, photoshopped right there. This WTF, what the looks photoshopped. Um, there was another one here that clearly looked photoshopped, but I'm not seeing it right now. But anyways, for example, if you compare that with something like this that looks clearly like the shirt being worn on somebody, um, and that actually, it looks like the shirt's being worn. It could does also look a little bit photoshopped. Um, but it's a nice image. This one clearly she's wearing the shirt. And a lot of times, for example, women like to, they're buying shirts for themselves. They like to imagine what they're going to look like wearing the shirt. And that looks really good, I think, for somebody who, might like that shirt. That might give them a real impression of what they would look like wearing that shirt. So some of my images, when you look at the doing this, obviously going and photoshopping an image over a shirt does not cost you anything. You sacrifice some of the quality for the price and the speed of doing it. You have it right away. If I was to go and I was to actually take my own photos, which I've done in a number of occasions, I suffer from the inability to really get the lighting right on the subject. Now, there have been a few times it's come out great. I oftentimes have hard shadows because I need to use a flash in order to get the lighting that I want, um, and different things like that. So, what I've done on some occasions is I've actually paid somebody to go and take some photos for me. And a lot of this really depends on what I'm using the shirt for. So, here are an example of my designs with just my standard shirts here. Right down here, however, I have a couple of shirts that I've gone ahead and I've paid somebody to go ahead and take. So I've actually printed the shirt. I gave them to a photographer and a model. The model wore the shirts, and the photographer took a picture of it for me. So this is one of my friends here, one of my neighbors and her daughter. So the neighbor is a photographer and her daughter likes to model, and so I pay the both of them to go. I'll send them like a stack of 10 shirts, and they'll go and they'll take a bunch of pictures of all the shirts for me. Um, so if I was to look at this, I woke up flawless, and this versus this, uh, if I was a woman, I would think, if I saw that and I could imagine myself wearing that shirt and how it would fit on me, um, imagine myself looking nice wearing the shirt versus this again. That I think will sell the shirt a lot better than this. Now, granted, if I'm paying somebody to go and take photos of every single shirt, that's gonna and I'm gonna incur quite a bit of cost with that. Um, they're really nice. They go out and they go on some location somewhere and they'll take a bunch of pictures. And I've gotten some really spectacular pictures from them, I feel. Um, those are one set. Here's another set right here. Looks aren't everything. I have them just in case. I think the lighting is really nice. She's got a really nice backlight from the sun here. Her face is lit up well. There's plenty of light on the subject. Likewise here. And then comparing that to just the plain shirt. Now, granted, you can go out with your iPhone or your Android and you can, put the shirts on and take pictures. In my case, every time now, I think that they turn out nice with my kids, but I don't have, for example, a young woman that, to take pictures of. I have on occasion gone out with my camera. I've printed a bunch of shirts and I've taken them to the neighbors and I've said, hey, could I take pictures of you in these shirts? And then put them on the internet. And, if they're okay with it, they're okay with it. If they're not, they're not. And I've gotten a lot of great photos from doing that as well. But, the photos have always come out a little bit better if I've taken somebody who has some professional photography experience, or at least has a lot of photography experience in their background. Maybe they've done portraits or they've done family photos or they've done wedding photos or whatever it is, but they've had a lot of experience with the lighting, the subjects, and getting a really nice quality picture. Again, you can do it yourself. Just when I've done it myself, it's kind of been hit and miss as to the quality of the image that I've come out with. So those are some things that I have done. So this is, for example, my last photo shoot that I had done. Excuse me. So she's done quite, and this is nice because I get so many different images that I can pick through. I might like one where, the light and the smile, how she's standing, different things sit better with me. A variety of smiling and thoughtful poses. Some might, I've been really impressed with a lot of the different images that I've gotten from this model and photographer. So, and this is just a sampling of what I've gotten from them. I'll kind of zoom up here to some other ones that I've had taken. I know at Digital T-Shirt Shop, I've not had a lot of images taken. So the cool pineapple, for example, here is one that I sell on my website. A look like this, I think, looks really casual and nice. Same look with a little smile. She's not on the beach, but I think that it still works really well. And really what you're doing is you're just looking for somebody wearing the shirt. Awesome sister. Let's see what else I've gotten here. Juliet. And then sometimes you might get some that look more playful and fun. There was one in here that I had I do, and then he said yes, and I like the pose that she did for he said yes, right there. Yes. I'm excited. Now, she didn't really have anybody say yes to her, but she definitely looks excited about it. So, anyhow, but those are kind of some of my thoughts on photos. I do think that photos help sell the images. Sometimes I sacrifice the helping sell the image with the ease of creating the image. I do like a lot of these that look a little bit more boutique style as well, where the image is on a pattern like this, and all they've done, it looks like, is they've taken the image and overlain it on a pattern background here, put a shadow behind it, branded it. And then obviously, given the way they did all this, they obviously photoshopped the text on there as well. So here's another one of they've actually taken a picture of the model wearing it. And I think that really helps with actually selling the image. Actually, they might have, I don't know, that's kind of hard to tell. That actually could be photoshopped as well. You know, you've got a wrinkle coming across the shirt here, and you don't really see that duplicated in the image. But that does, I mean, you could actually, I've photoshopped a lot of shirts to try to make them look like they were actually printed on the shirt, and I overlay it and I make one darker and then I erase some of it so I have some shadowing in the image. You know, I'd shadow it down through here, maybe through here, where you've got light coming across a wrinkle. You'd, you know, erase the darker image so that, you know, the light part of it would come through. Um, you know, but that actually, you know, it looks nice on a model, I think. So you can imagine what it looks like. Better picture yourself wearing it. You get a, I think, also better representation of the color of the shirt as well, and the color of the print. And one of the problems you have with direct to garment printing oftentimes is that you can really have some dramatic color variance in your print. Some of your lighter colors oftentimes will print darker. I find, you know, and even sometimes they'll color shift a bit. If I have a shade of yellow that shifts very even so slightly to orange, the print will shift really quick from yellow to red. My light blues will print as more of a darker blue or royal blue. Same thing with the light pinks; they'll easily shift towards a darker red or towards a red. Um, so, and you know, it's just kind of the nature of how it is. So oftentimes I find myself, if I'm doing things in color, I've got to shift the colors to lighter shades in order to get a better representation of the color that I want. Um, so, anyways, you know, I don't think models are a bad idea. You know, and what it costs, you just have to work that out with your model, your photographer. I know around here in Utah, you know, if I was to go to a studio, oftentimes I might pay probably 70, 80, $90 for a studio to go on site with a photographer. I might pay a similar price depending on the photographer, and there might be photographers that are more. Um, I think I talked to one photographer that was $150. You know, models might range from, you know, I've had neighbors do it for free. You know, and oftentimes I've tried to find neighbors that I thought would look good in a photo, in addition to, uh, you know, being willing to wear the product in the first place. And I'd give them the products for free. And sometimes I paid them, sometimes I haven't. And it could be $20, it could be $25, it could be, you know, $50, $30, $40, depending upon what I'm asking them to do. So, and how many models I have coming. So, but that's kind of what I've done. Those are the photos that I've taken. I think they work. I think they help sell that. That one might be a little crazy. I don't know. But in general, I do recommend get a model and photographer if you can. So